Hey everyone, Hallie here. Today I wanted to talk about the brand new Splitgate 2 alpha that just released that will be out until March 3rd. In today's video, I want to talk about my thoughts on this alpha, as well as what I expect to see from the future of Splitgate 2, and also just kind of opening this up into a broader discussion with you guys. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it, and I'm going to start this video off by giving you guys a quick overview of what Splitgate 2 is. So for those of you who played Splitgate 1, Splitgate 2 is very similar to Splitgate 1. Essentially, imagine Halo with portals, or just an arena shooter with portals. It is very similar to that. It is a arena shooter style game where you can bring in your own weapons and you can customize them, but you can also find unique special weapons lying around the map, and you fight the enemy team, and you essentially want to be the team that dies the least and gets the most kills. This is very similar to Splitgate 1, and if you played Splitgate 1, Splitgate 2, in my opinion, is almost, and it might be a little bit too early to say this, but I would say an improvement over Splitgate 1. One of the first notable things I noticed in Splitgate 2 when I started playing it was the movement. The movement in this game feels much more fluid compared to Splitgate 1. I would compare Splitgate 1's movement to something almost like Quake, or maybe Call of Duty, because Quake you can go quite fast in. I don't know, maybe Quake would be good. If I were to compare that to Quake, I would compare Splitgate 2 to something like Apex Legends. In Splitgate 2, sliding is now a major movement mechanic and is something that you'll be using quite frequently just to get around the map, and it feels fantastic. You're able to chain slides out of jumping out of portals into these really nice boosts of momentum, and it feels great. So Splitgate 2 does a fantastic job of keeping that fast-paced movement combat that you will remember from Splitgate 1, which is fantastic to see. Of course, this game is going to be a fast-paced movement shooter when it's using portals, but it's great to see that they have nailed that fast-paced combat once again. It's also important to note that Splitgate is a free-to-play game, and I would imagine that Splitgate 2 is going to be a free-to-play game as well. Which is just a nice thing to see, but that also does mean that it is a live service game, and therefore will have a battle pass most likely, and a store feature most likely when the game releases. Unfortunately, we don't really have any information on the pricing mechanics of this store, or if you'll be able to earn things for free, but that is something to note, and definitely something I will talk about later in the future once we get more information on it. If you guys do enjoy this Splitgate video. Alright, so we gave a basic overview of what Splitgate 2 is, and also just kind of a little bit of what Splitgate 1 was, and just some of its history, so I'm going to go ahead and give you guys my first impressions of the alpha. Overall, Splitgate 2 feels like a step up from Splitgate 1 in my opinion, and I'm super happy to see this game return. I'm pretty sure Splitgate 1 got shut down, or it definitely just kind of died off, and it's great to see Splitgate 2 back. One thing I do worry about is, will we have another really big boom and bust with Splitgate 2? I fear this game being a live service game and what that means. You know, a lot of live service games need to be the #1 game, or else they just stop existing. So I really do hope Splitgate 2 can hold on. But from what I have experienced so far, the game feels great. It feels just like Splitgate 1, with better movement and honestly better combat. It feels incredibly fluid, and I also want to give a shout out to the developers for the servers. The servers feel fantastic. I didn't really experience any lag, or at least anything that was noticeable, which was really nice, and definitely a refresher from other shooter games such as like Call of Duty or something where the servers can be quite iffy. So servers felt fantastic, game felt fantastic, movement felt fantastic. I will say some of the modes, specifically the 3 teams of 8 players mode, where there's like 24 players on a map and it's on this really massive map. That mode felt like it dragged on a little bit, but it was really fun just given the massive scale of it and how big the map was and how many enemies there were. But I would say, like, of any of the modes I played, that one definitely felt like it dragged on the most. And I was like, oh, this is kind of boring. Whereas when I was playing the other modes, I was like, oh, wow, the game's over. I was having so much fun I didn't even notice. Whereas, you know, just in that really big mode, it felt like it dragged on for a bit. But again, I guess that kind of comes down to just balancing for matches with a ton of players like that. But that's just something to say. I feel like all the game modes feel fantastic. The only one I kind of have a complaint with is the 3 teams of 8 players one, just because it feels like it drags on a little bit. But overall, first impressions, feels great. Servers feel great. Gameplay feels great. Movement feels great. Gunplay feels great. Like, it all feels great. Some of the maps also feel pretty solid. I don't really feel like there is any standout ones, but none of them feel too bad. Something else I would also like to mention that I think is a interesting feature and just something that is different from Splitgate 1 is the introduction of classes into Splitgate 2. Currently, there are 3 classes within the beta, and each of them have their own unique skills. But overall, these classes pretty much just all play the same, minus the fact that they'll have a passive that is unique to each class, as well as an ultimate that is unique to each class. But it doesn't feel like Overwatch. Like, it doesn't become a hero shooter. It essentially is just a way for you to have like an ultimate ability that you charge up as the game goes on. So I feel like the class mechanics in Splitgate 2 they're done all right. I feel like I have to play more in order to really develop my opinion on them, but the class mechanics feel okay. They don't really feel burdensome, which is nice. Just because I feel like a lot of class mechanics or like games that tried to have like hero shooter elements in them kind of fumble it. But Splitgate 2 seems to do it all right. One major complaint I guess I would have with these class mechanics is I can't tell which characters are different. Like, everyone looks the same. And I don't really know if that's a huge deal, but I just feel like if you're going to have class mechanics in a game, you should make the different classes look distinct. But maybe that doesn't matter too much given how minute the differences between the classes are. But just something to keep note of, and I would like to hear what you guys think about the classes specifically. Outside of the classes, I think that really is my only main complaint, is just like their lack of distinctness, which is very nitpicky and does speak to the quality of this alpha. The game feels fantastic, and I'm really excited to see the future of this game and where it goes from here. I guess one concern I do have for the future is what will the shop and store mechanics look like? Will they be profitable, and will they be able to keep this game afloat? Another thing I'm concerned about, this game is a live service game. How many players do we need to keep this game afloat? Will a dedicated community be enough, or will this game have to be the #1 game in the world in order for it to exist for a couple months, as so many live service games do? I really hope that's not the case. I hope they are able to maintain a solid foothold in the gaming market. But yeah, I'm very much anticipating the full release of Splitgate 2. I'm curious if there will be a beta. I'm sure there will be. But this is currently the alpha, I believe. So let me know what you guys think of not only this video, but also Splitgate 2. I thought it'd be fun to just kind of yap and give my opinions about the game so far and what I have played. Really enjoyed Splitgate 1, and I'm sure a ton of people enjoyed Splitgate 1. I'm interested to see if Splitgate 2 will have the same type of popularity as Splitgate 1. I doubt it. I doubt they can catch lightning in a bottle twice, but we will have to see. So with all that being said, let me know what you guys think of Splitgate 2, and let me know what you thought of this video. Something a little bit different, but I wanted to talk about this game just because I thought it was pretty fun and interesting. So let me know what you all think down in the comments below. But with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.